Well, gosh, it's been a busy week. How about you guys? And so as I'm recording this, we are heading into July 4th week. And I have taken some time off of my day job and to celebrate our wedding anniversary. So I always try and take a week off around our wedding anniversary just to spend time with my husband and reconnect instead of kind of like passing in the wind, so to speak, and we take time when we can, when we aren't working during the day. And so I do give us this time. I give him time and I give myself that time. It's a very restful gift because we're not doing, going. Yes, we go places and we do things because we have the space within that time to do it, but it's not a constant hustle. So that's kind of been my week. And so I started it on Friday. So if you look at today's Sunday as I'm recording this. And so I'm going into day 3 of a 10-day vacation. And in 2 days, and this is really what I wanted to share. In those 2 days so far, my body has grounded even further. I feel much, much more in flow of my day. I am more present in what I'm doing, and I take the time to do things that I enjoy, like taking a longer walk with my dogs and with my husband. Normally, I take walks with one dog, Lola, and my husband is usually still in bed. So, but this is just a different week, a different practice for me. And it's been really, really good. It's been kind of a crazy week too, and I've noticed this around a lot of people that I've talked to, throughout the week where they've had some, like, crazy stuff happen during the week. How about you? Um, you know, uh, what is some of the stuff that were just really kinda threw me this past week? I took a peek online at our bank account, and I noticed this odd fee. I was like, "What is that?" And I had to look at it twice, and then I realized what happened. So, yeah, someone managed to get a hold of my bank card and do some stuff. And then, subscriptions that I had canceled all of a sudden started to renew. And I'm texting the companies like, hey, look, I canceled this. So, you need to refund my money. It's those kinds of things that I've never experienced before. And is that there's just some sort of energy. And I was talking to my son and he was having some crazy stuff happen at his job and just some other people that I've talked to throughout the week. And how about you? How's your week been? Have you noticed like some just, I don't know, not crazy stuff. If it's the moon that's coming, I think I heard someone saying that Mercury was going into retrograde, which is always gets a little funky sometimes. But then, like I said, I started my time off and then everything just took a shift and it just kind of grounded and leveled out. And it's been a really good 2 days. I wanted to talk about a little bit what we can do. What are those things we can give to ourselves that can help make a shift? Because a lot of times what we do is we go into healing mode, I'm going to call it. And we go through a course. Maybe you go through my course and you get to the end and there's progress, but you're wanting more. You feel like there's more and there's more. And I've been down this road. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is, I was working on the kitchen cabinets yesterday and I flipped on, I don't know, some book I was listening to, audiobook, and it occurred to me, hey, Terry, why are you listening to a new teaching about something when you just finished this other book? Let that, what you learned from those teachings, from that community and that leader, let's integrate that. Let's work on that instead of hopping from next to next to next, because when we don't stop to integrate what we're learning, what we're wanting to heal, the real healing doesn't come. It can be a very surface level, fast surface level healing because you just want to get through the thing, right? Get through it. And we're avoiding the real stuff. So that really occurred to me yesterday is, like I said, I was cleaning kitchen cabinets, getting ready to paint them. And I'm listening to this book and it's like, wait. Let's just take a step back. Let's take a breath and integrate and see what comes up. Because healing it comes in layers, like I talk about all the time. And those layers reveal themselves when they're ready to be healed, when something starts to pop back up for you. It could be around a childhood trauma, self abandonment, an abusive relationship. Those are just some quick things that come to mind. And those are things that, I went through, but we need to take the time, and you need to take as much time as you need. That's the big thing. Don't rush it. Quick little story, about Elena. And, she's looking at one morning, she gets up and she's looking at, it's time to journal. I have my routine. I wake up in the morning and I grab my tea or my coffee and I go and I journal. And then Elena she starts her workout after her journal. And then, she might go for a walk, and then she comes back and maybe she gets ready for work, and she's doing the journal. She's doing the workout. She's doing the walk. And those are all good things. But when you're doing it with the theme of what's next, because you're looking for this aha. That's it. That's the thing. That's the crux of the pain, the trauma that I'm feeling. And you're pushing and you're searching and you're pushing through the journaling and through the walks, and you're like, okay, what is it? What is it? What is it? And it's not coming. When we pile on all the things and we're pushing and we're wanting it so much, we can actually delay the entire process in order to get to that next step, to heal that layer. But sometimes when we look at all the things that we're doing, and like I said, it could be journaling, and then we're taking a healing course, and then we're taking this other course over here, and then we're reading this book. In between time, where is the space that you give yourself to integrate those pieces to heal? If we don't give the space, we're doing ourselves an injustice, really. And that space can look different for everyone. There's moments when I've gone through certain things that I've been working through, and something pops up around that, maybe a year from now, or, 2 weeks later. And it's like, okay, it's time to work on that a little bit more, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. But when we push it, we don't allow the true healing to happen. Elena, she was kind of like going down that road. She just, she woke up one morning and she saw all this stuff. She's like, you know what? I can't journal today. What's the use? What's the use? I just feel like I'm just pouring all this stuff out, and everyone says, I'll get to this big revelation, and then I go for the walk because everyone says I'll get to this big revelation, and then I go to this because everyone says I'll get to this other big revelation, and there's no revelation. Take one thing. Try just one thing, whether it be the journal, whether it be the walk. And in the meantime, like we talked about last week, take some deep breaths in, deep breaths out when we start feeling that overwhelm, that anxiousness, and breaths in and deep exhales out. And while you're doing that, tell yourself, I am here. I am enough. I am here. I am enough. And start to self-regulate some of that, and bring yourself back to center, to you, instead of looking for all the answers that everyone says, this is the way. Okay. You have to find the thing that we connect with that feels right. Yes, I work with women and I help with their healing and their traumas and their pains. And I want the experience to be the experience that's right for them, for you. And that's why I don't say, okay, here, take my course, listen to all these replays and take the course and we'll meet once a week. I don't do that because everyone's unique. Everyone's different, yet we're very similar. I want to treat each person individually and talk to them and get to know them. And you get to know me and find out why you're really here with me in this space. And I give you that space to do that. And that's how I work. And that I find not only when I work with women, But when I meet people on the street or in a store or even, in a meeting, outside of the healing realm, I give them that space because many times we don't always do that. And I've noticed and I've taken on this mission to give people space instead of we try and rush things so much and it can leave you feel unsettled. And I don't like that. I don't like that for myself. I certainly don't want to make anyone else feel that way. So give yourself space as if you were sitting in a room with me or come sit in a room with me and experience what that's like. Anyway, Elaine, she just got to the point where she just felt exhausted. Have you ever just gone through all the motions and you feel exhausted? And you don't feel the relief, the peace that you're striving and you're stretching for. And you're starting to feel frustrated. It's like it's not coming. It's not coming fast enough. I want it now. And then there could be bitterness there or anger. Are we pushing too hard? Are you rushing the process? Healing is not a rush process. I say it and I say it and I say it. It's not a rush process. But when we get to that point, take a step back and just drop into yourself. Put your hand on your heart and just sit there and close your eyes and breathe. Just breathe and notice your breath in and out. And those bitternesses, those angers and what we're pushing for. If that's you, I would invite you to contact me. Let's find out what's going on. Why the bitterness? Why the anger? And why do you feel you need to rush and push your healing? It's not a race. It's just never a race. We are in such a culture of hustle and grind. Faster is better. Faster is better. Faster is so much better. But is it? I don't know. I don't think so. Stop the hustle and grind. Stop the hustle and grind, especially with yourself. Be kind to yourself. I know we say that a lot, don't we? But it's true. It's kind of like me taking those 2 days off when I started my vacation and no social media, just me, my husband, the dogs, and time. It's amazing when you stop the hustle, how much time you really do have. It's almost like time slows down and it's actually pretty cool. It is. It is. And I want to ask you a few questions. One big one, I think, is are you shoulding yourself? I should go do this. I should go fix dinner. I should take a walk. I should, gosh, I don't know. I should be journaling every day for 30 minutes every day. I should be working out, 30 minutes every day. And then I should be going for a walk. Let's not should ourselves. Okay, good gravy. That is a huge, heavy burden of the what's next on the to-do list. To want to journal, that's a little different. To want to work out, again, different. To want to go on a walk, different. What do you want versus what you are shooting yourself into? And that, sometimes that even includes family gatherings. I mean, we're in the US, we are into summer now and there's a lot of family gatherings and reunions and, holiday gatherings. And sometimes people are saying, well, you should attend, or you're telling yourself, I should go to this family reunion. I should go to this family event. Is it a should or is it a want? It's okay to say no. It is okay to say no. And everyone will be fine at the end of the day if your answer is no. And if your answer is yes, is it really a yes or is it a yes that's covering up a no? I've done that. I have absolutely done that. And it's like, I really don't want to go do this, but I said I would do it. So now I have to go do it. I would argue that point now after I've learned more about my human design. And when I say yes to something, I have made an agreement and I cannot set it down. It is very hard for me to set things down once I say yes. And that is part of my human design. And we all have that part. It's really looking at the human design and seeing if that is defined, colored in, or if it's open and how we work through that. Mine is defined. So it's a very strong sense of the I should. It just occurred to me. It's kind of like the I should, but it's also okay. And it took me a long time to learn this for myself to say, once I said yes, it's okay to go back and say no. It is okay to go back and say no. So there's your permission slip. You're allowed to say no. And give yourself 5 minutes of peace, 5 minutes of peace, whether that's regulating your breath and just allowing yourself to come back to you, or doing the I am here, I am enough, I am here, I am enough. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Take the pause. It is so powerful. I do this. I take a pause several times throughout the day, several times, and it's amazing. And then, let's just take a look at how we nourish our body for just a minute, okay? When our energy is at a low, or we're feeling energies coming in from other people, and they may be very upset, bitter, angry, and it can trigger something in you, especially if you don't realize that you are feeling someone else's energy coming into you. And that's around human design. And it's also around how you are wired. And that can be a very interesting conversation that I would love to have with everyone. And if you're interested in that, please let me know. I'll send you the link. Actually, I'll put it in the show notes and you can run your own chart. But it gives us some insights about what we project out versus what we have come in, defined versus undefined. And sometimes, like I said, when we start doing the I should, or taking that 5-minute pause, it is also around your human design and what feels good to you, not what your mind is telling you, but your heart, your gut. And then, nourishment. That's where I started to go with this. If we are having all these feelings of other people, their energies coming in, and we don't understand that it's theirs, not ours, that can trigger, especially if you numb out with food, that can really, really trigger your nourishment, where you may seek some comfort food that may not be very healthy, a whole food versus a processed food. But when we can start to nourish our bodies with a whole food, like, go for a tea versus a soda. I was a soda drinker like crazy, and I finally got off of it. And it took a while, but I'd never go back. But it was one of the best things. And now I reach for tea or warm water because it helps settle the gut. And, part of your nourishment of your body is taking care. Are you a bather or a shower, a warm shower, a warm bath? And just rub oil all over your body and take the time to do that for yourself. It is very grounding. It's very relaxing. It's very peaceful. And like I said last week, what is one micro yes you can do for yourself? What is it? Like I said, I think said read a book. Take 30 minutes to read a book, if that's what you want to do, and not feel like you've got to go shooting yourself doing something else. Take the time. What is the one micro thing you can do for yourself? And is it setting a boundary? Is it saying no because it's really a no? Are you saying yes when behind it, you're saying no, 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 no? What can you do? I invite you and schedule a quick call with me and see what it's like to be in a room with me. And we can talk about what those next steps to work with me would look like. Soon, I am going to be setting up another program, probably to start in August. I'm thinking like a 4, maybe 8-week program. More to come on that. I kind of have some ideas rolling around, but we'll talk more about that. Listen, so yeah, I have a week's vacation still going. I am very excited about that because I get to paint my kitchen cabinets, and I also find that very relaxing and grounding. Have a great week. Honest. Have a great week. One micro thing, yes, for yourself. Try not to should yourself, or recognize when you start to say, I should go do dot, 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 and maybe write it down. And is it, I should go do dot, 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 or I want to go do dot, 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 dot. Words matter. Words have energy. Treat yourself well, and we will talk soon.